Si eres beneficiario del Seguro Popular, revisa la vigencia de tu póliza. Si ya venció, reafíliate en el módulo de afiliación más cercano a tu domicilio o a las brigadas que acuden a las colonias. Al momento de realizar la renovación de la póliza, recibirás sin costo la consulta segura para conocer tu estado de salud. No pierdas tus derechos y haz el trámite de inmediato. Gobierno del Estado. Gobierno.
Del otro lado, señor innovadora. Está con nosotros medios como Televisa, Síntesis, TV Azteca.
I'm Miguel Lara from Televisa, Channel 12. My question is, what do you do?
I started my talk today on this subject. You are taught from the time you're very young not to believe in yourself, to believe in other people that are smarter than you. In my case, it was a matter of being shy and non-social, that I had to think alone a lot of times. And I was able to say if I felt one way about something, if I felt this is the way to do it, and other people said no, it didn't matter. I was an independent thinker, used to thinking differently than others. Of people who develop software for free because they want to, their purposes are more noble. I am very saddened when they run into obstacles that are set by large companies that are already in the business. However, you will notice that the young people I'm talking about, college-age people, start companies like Apple, Facebook, Google, Yahoo going back, Twitter. So they all come out of young people's thinking that aren't necessarily attached to the way things have to be done in the real world. And I'm supportive of that and always hope that they have the freedom to create new things that are outside of what we're normally expecting to get. I'm sorry, but I have to keep my answer short today. Since I don't live in Latin America, it's hard to speak for everyone. However, I've had extremely effective visits to a few places in Latin America, Brazil, Chile, and several sites in Mexico, where I see this constant urge, an interest in the new technologies. Everything starts with motivation and being interested in things. Those are the things that you become skilled at and accomplished and achieve. Also, today's mobile technology, why don't you go with the first answer?
Okay.
The difference in different people using technology is usually in which pieces of software they use. Today, our lives are entrenched with the mobile technology. We see ourselves merged with it. And the mobile technology of apps apply to different facets of life and your culture and the places around you that you deal and do things in your life with. So apps are totally open to localization in other places. They don't necessarily have to be. An app will only go to the United States where it can sell. Apps are everywhere I go. I'll find people doing incredible apps about living their life, whether it's finding restaurants, taxis, alternate rides, or different ways of viewing the internet. Yes, as I started out today saying, we are in the infancy of this mobile revolution, the technology, the devices of today. And yes, they seem to be doing everything to us. We have come to love them as people. The most important future for such devices, changing and improving our lives, is in how we communicate with them as humans. We won't in the future be memorizing a lot of procedures to get things done. We'll be speaking them naturally like we do to friends. We have taken very tiny steps towards artificial intelligence, but we're not really there yet. So you will not have to know how to use a certain app to get done what you want to do in the future. You will simply speak your desire and it will happen. My own personal plans for the future. Right now, I'm in a rather unexpected, accidental phase of my life where, due to the importance of mobile technology in our life, Apple's connection to it, Steve Jobs' death and his book, I'm being invited to speak all over the world. So figure what it takes to travel random places in the world for maybe 70 speeches a year. So right now I'm not that busy. I am chief scientist with the company Fusion.io, which is the leader in the world for replacing hard disks with chips. Fusion.io,
Fusion.io,
which is the leader in replacing hard disks with chips. I have desires to do research and develop projects for this company that go back to my roots as a computer architect, creating alternate forms of the chips that do the work for us that do not exist today and may not be possible. But that's how you hit the home run. I don't like to do what other people are doing. I don't like to be judged against others. I'm shy and avoid conflict. So I prefer to go in directions that other people aren't going and look for discoveries that way.
Entonces prefiero tomar caminos en otras direcciones a los demás y así buscar descubrimientos.
Could you be a little bit more specific on what these chips will do?
Yes, for 35 years, I have envisioned computers that work on photons instead of electrons.
Sí, durante 35 años he imaginado computadores o chips que funcionaran a base de fotones en lugar de electrones.
When I say chips, I mean devices that can be manufactured with billions of parts for a very low cost.
Y cuando digo chips, refiero a partes que con how many?
Billions.
Miles de millones de partes que pueden ser manufacturados a un muy bajo costo.
And photons, basically this kind of a chip, if it can be made into a computer, would use almost no power.
Y fotones o este tipo de chip, si se pudiera convertir en una computadora, utilizaría casi poder nulo.
From a logic point of view, you need three things. One is a logic gate. Another is an inverter that changes zeros into ones. In my case, it would be change red light into blue or blue into red. Or if a light comes in, no light comes out. If no light comes in, a light comes out. Something that inverts and amplifiers. You need three pieces to make all of computers today. And there has been recent discoveries in the way of that give us logic gates based on photons. The possibility of it. Can they be made very tiny? That's the question. Well,
can we do that in
yes.
parts, maybe?
Okay, recent discoveries in quantum physics give us some of the pieces to make complete computers. But can these devices be manufactured very tiny?
Pero si se puede.
That's another issue. But I'd like to work on it. The what of Mexico?
The role of Mexico in the technology
yes.
market.
I haven't thought about it. I'm sorry. I don't have an opinion. I hope... I do have televisions at home that were manufactured. Maybe right here in Tijuana.
No sé, no he pensado en eso, pero sí tengo televisores que fueron manufacturados aquí en Tijuana.
All over the world where you find smart technical people, and I've always found many in Mexico.
En todo el mundo donde se encuentra gente inteligente de capacidad técnica, he encontrado muchos de ellos en México.
They adapt well to today's world of writing extremely useful applications for smartphones.
Se adaptan muy bien al poder escribir apps muy prácticos y útiles para los smartphones.
Well-made apps on smartphones
Apps bien hechos para smartphones
do not just let us do the same things better.
no nos permiten solamente hacer las mismas cosas de una manera mejor.
They allow us to live our life in such a different way that it's tremendously benefited.